Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Just, it's 10 minutes to lunchtime. So, yeah, good morning, everyone. It's 10 a.m.-ish. It's 11:50, 10 a.m.-ish. Anyway, good morning. Welcome into twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads or youtube.com/Ice Cream Uploads or Spotify or SoundCloud, Google Play, all the places, iTunes as well. I forgot you, but I got you. Welcome in. We are live for another episode of The Scoop. How are you all doing? Bib, how are you doing?
Good, thank you very much for joining us for the Scoop, your lunchtime podcast. We go live each and every single weekday at 10 to 12-ish.
No, actually, 10 to 12 on the money. It's 10 a.m.-ish. Yeah. So, yeah, if you don't know what that's about, if you're new here, we go live at 10 a.m. ish. And it's a big ish today. It's 11:50, but it's been a busy old week, which is a nice kind of thing. It's been we've got a bunch of things that we can't really talk about that we're doing, obviously, because we work in the video games industry. We are Ice Cream Uploads, but we work for Jelly Media, which is where the name comes from, Jelly and Ice Cream. So we've got a bunch of stuff that we are doing. So things are getting busy. So expect the ish to be in full effect over the next few weeks or so anyway. The 10 a.m. starts will be flexible, but it's fine. We have an emote that covers us off for that. But if you don't know who we are, my name is Grim Day. This is Bibby. We are Ice Cream Uploads, and in true ice cream fashion, this is your scoop, your daily dose of news from the world of video games and beyond. And some may say the UK's #1 video game podcast. We are those people, but it counts. It counts. Anyway, if you think it's the UK's #1 video game podcast, feel free to say it back. You know, whatever you can do. Well, I'm not going to argue. Anyway, we do go live on Twitch each and every single weekday at 10 a.m.-ish. Yeah, 10 a.m.-ish. I'll just leave it there. We've covered it. 10 a.m.-ish. We go live, twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. If you're in the chat, please do get involved with us while you eat your lunch. Because we turn this podcast into... we turn this live stream into a podcast. So we're doing the video live on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads, but we turn that into a video for YouTube and an audio podcast on iTunes and Spotify and SoundCloud and Google Play. We will give you our thoughts and impressions on the biggest stories. We want your thoughts and your impressions on our thoughts and our impressions. Please feel free to get involved. A complete mental block. I can't remember if I said the platform, so I'm going to say them again. If it's repetition, just embrace it. It's fine. So the video goes on YouTube, the audio podcast goes on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Play. Please feel free to get involved in the chat. Before we jump into the streams, a couple of reminders, like we always do. First of all, ! loot drop. That command will give you the basic details, although that can now be updated. After a little bit of a conversation in yesterday's stream, we decided that this month's loot drop would be an ICU jersey, so I put that post out late last night, about 8:30, 9-ish, something along those lines. So yeah, if you're a subscriber to ICU, whether you're a paid subscriber, whether it's a gifted subscriber, or an Amazon Prime Gaming subscriber, it doesn't matter whatever subscriber you are, as long as you're a sub, you will be entered into the next month's loot drop. That's a giveaway we do each and every month where subscribers get a little bit of something back, or one person does anyway. This month's prize will be one of these. You can see it hanging on the door behind me, the custom ICU esports jersey. I say custom, you can go plain, or you can get your own custom name and number on the back if you want. One person, we will purchase that for you as a thanks for everyone subscribing to the channel. We appreciate you. As well as that ! Voice mod. Nobody really knows what that is, but apparently...
It changes your voice, and not only that, it changes your life, mate.
I may have been using that to levels that voice mod may have been proud of and may have been ashamed of last night on last night's stream. We had an unannounced, unscheduled, unplanned after dark stream of PUBG last night with Beans. So yeah, nice. Anyway, let's jump into the chat and see who is with us. Lake was in nice and early. Good morning, Lake. Gagad as well. How are you doing, sir? Good morning-ish, gents. We made the morning just. Bacon Chin. How you doing? Ad says there's the PES 22 beta's out. PSM says morning-ish. Chaos Riot Zero says lads. Speaking of Chaos Riot Zero, complete mental block. Knockout City, that's it. So Knockout City, a game that we played a bit of a few weeks ago, and we haven't touched since, just because there's all of the games in the world. But it's a game that we do want to jump back on. Anyway, they have an ice cream themed event, so we absolutely will be jumping back into that at some point. Not today. I am jumping on some PUBG with it was supposed to be me, Ro, and then potentially Beans today. Ro is busy, so me and Beans will be playing some PUBG today, but we will get some, maybe even tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow is a Knockout City Friday. So if anyone wants to play some Knockout City tomorrow, then yeah, join me tomorrow. Are you working tomorrow, Chris, or are you what you saying? What you saying? Ad says, not a drill. It's out. Well, it wouldn't be a drill. That would be a mechanical item that you use for putting shelves up and things like that. That's just silly. Lake says, yes, we know it is, as in me and Bibby knows at least. Did Konami even mention it? No, it came straight from the bushes last night without any warning. Kickoff glitch still works. Hammer says, good morning-ish. Johnny with the loot drop commands. Thank you very much, dude. And Gagad with the loot drops command. Oh, no, Gagad with the loot droop. We appreciate you. There you go. One just for ads yesterday. Hammer says, have you not tried the Pez beta yet? And if so, what are your thoughts? Lake says, I just finished trying it as a scoop started, but I need to test it more. And Chris says, I'm working tomorrow. Boo. Okay. Well, maybe we'll look at some. Maybe over the weekend, then we'll see. We will see. We'll look at something. But yes, we don't have the Pez. What are we referring to it as? The Pez beta. That's what we're calling it in the chat. We don't have that on today's agenda because obviously we work with Konami, so there's some things that we don't want to talk about just because it's too close to home and people will think we're giving exclusive information and this, that, and the other. So we don't have it as an item to talk about. But the only things I will say that I will confirm is it's not a PES beta. It's not a PES game as such. It's called New Football Game or something like that. Because as soon as you put PES on it, people will assume what people are assuming already, that it's a PES beta. And it's not anything to do with that. There's a complete engine switch to Unreal, which obviously I assume, this is me guessing, by the way, this is not me giving official information. I assume that Unreal Engine changes the way that you work with online and potentially offers new systems. So that's what I do know is just a technical test. So don't read into what the menus look like. Don't read into any of that sort of stuff. That is literally testing netcode to see what the data looks like in the back end. Anything that you're looking at on the front end, people will naturally make assumptions. Understandable. When I was back in the PES community days writing for PES Fan, I would be doing the same sort of thing, trying to guess where that is going to go. All I can say is just don't as much as possible. Obviously, it's good to have the rumor mill going a little bit. Just
your own at the end of the day, yeah.
yeah. So make your own impressions and stuff. Just try to not let yourself get too far ahead because it is literally just a tech demo. That's it. That's why it wasn't really announced. That's why it wasn't really spoken and so on. Obviously, feel free to judge whether those decisions are right yourself. Do that yourself. But the actual content of that. The only thing I can say on that is it's just about the tech stuff. Feels like PES Mobile, hopefully just because they're testing servers. Lake says, yeah, it feels like ported PES Mobile with nice graphics. Asim says, my honest thoughts, sorry lads, love you, but horrible communications and marketing from Konami. Well, that's the thing. Bibby planned out the entire communication strategy.
Exactly. Yeah. I just anything in Sprout or anything like just. You leave it to you guys to make your own assumptions, but no, that isn't true. I have absolutely no doubt though that there will be people in here that'll be ready to clip stuff to post on social media. So because obviously the people know in the community that we work directly with them on a lot of things, but there's so if we don't know anything, we can't tell you anyway. But
exactly.
That's just the way it is.
We know the same sort of things that you know. But yeah. There's not really much more to say. I will. The only thing
I haven't played it yet.
Yeah, me neither. Not
genuinely. I've not even installed it yet.
I was playing PUBG on stream last night when it came out. So
I was playing House Flipper.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, like I say, obviously feel free to do whatever you want in terms of judging the quality of the game, or it's not a game; it's a technical test. But that's the point. Judge the comms, judge whatever you want. That's entirely your prerogatives. Just the only thing I can advise on is the fact that it's not a game that you're playing; it's a test. So just keep that bit in mind.
It might just be that it's the bare minimum. Like, has it even got real teams in it? I genuinely, I haven't even installed it. Has it even got genuine teams in there?
I've seen screenshots. I think I was watching Barry/Pez Universe posting bits last night as I was going to bed, and I want to say there was 4 teams in it, but I'm not 100% sure.
Shaggers.
Shaggers.
Right. It could just be it's the absolute base.
Just Shaggers, TTS, straight into my ear. But thank you very much, Gary, for the 8 months. You beautiful guy. What you saying, babe?
It could just be the most genuine sprites from Unreal Engine that you're seeing around a football pitch. For the sake of it, is a connection test.
I mean,
is that even the title? What's the title of it?
It's just something like new football game. I mean, it could be just sprites from
online performance
Unreal Engine.
Test.
It could be
online performance test. That's exactly what it is.
It could be sprites from Unreal Engine. It could be finished article. But that's the point. There's a very long way between placeholder and finished article, and nobody knows what that is. All we know is it's just a technical test. And I know that from working on previous things before, that just because this is, I mean, it's not been badged as, like, we had it, was it 2018, maybe 17, where we had an early beta which gave online, and that was to test the online, but it was a demo of the game. It was like the online demo or something like that. And that was a demo for the game online. So the reason that this isn't like that, you have to assume that that's because it's not a demo of the game. It's just a technical test. So, but yeah.
Well, I mean, the past 3 years, barring the year that's just gone, obviously because it was a season update, they've actually badged it as eFootball, PES or PES, whatever it is, and then the name of the year as a beta for that. So why wouldn't they do that this year if it was part of the end product? Like, that's just reading between the lines.
Yeah,
but that's just common sense. You're getting one thing versus the other, and they're not even badged the same. So, again, take everything that you see with a pinch of salt. Genuinely,
yeah. By all means, as well. This is not me saying be positive. You're all, as my mum would say, you're big enough and ugly enough to make your own decisions. That's what my mum would say to me. Cheers, mum. Love you too. But yeah, make your own assumptions. If you like it, if you don't like it, whatever, that's all fine. I'm just countering because I've seen there's a lot of natural negativity, which is bordering on levels of toxic. And be toxic if that's what your community thrives on, kind of thing. We don't thrive on that here, so we are just countering that toxicity with just take it at face value for what it is, and then we'll move on from then. There is information in that, like July 21st. There could be something coming there. Ooh, teasings. I mean, it's all inside the game and stuff. You'll see it on yourself. It's on the ad boards and so on. Nobody knows what that is. We don't know what that is. But yeah, there you go. Asim says, I know how things work, nothing to do with you guys. No, it's like I said, entirely Bibby's plan, by the way, 100%. Bonsai says, hey guys, I'll be back shortly, if possible. Up the ICU, love the hoodie, Graham. Thank you very much. This is an exclamation mark insert coin hoodie, by the way. GG's insert coin. Probably too warm for a hoodie today, so I may take it off before I jump back on with some PUBG. Gary, once again, appreciate the 8 months. What a guy. Next Gen Base is in the chat. The word beta has been so overused. People expect beta to mean full demo and finished product, and that's accurate facts. Exclamation mark 3D in the chat, as Bibby's just typed. Nice. Check out the if you want to get yourself. Do you know what? Do you have any PlayStation Platinum trophies? I have one, and it's on PUBG, but now I have 2. Yeah, thank you very much. Shout out to Next Gen Base for providing us with those #gifted. But yeah, beta is an overused term. It's a marketing thing now, whereas a beta test, an alpha test and a beta test were pre-release elements that people didn't used to get to see, but then someone in marketing realized, actually, we can make this beta test an open beta test so people can get involved early in it. We can use it for promotional and influencer and content and community engagement stuff. So, yeah. Like I said, by all means, kind of make your own assumptions and logic off this, but as this is nothing to do with the finished article whatsoever, I'm just not going to read beyond it too much, because the things that are being judged are the netcode and the ones and zeros behind it. Whether that's been fully described or not is a different story. But yeah, just play it, see what you feel. If you don't like the way it plays, the way it feels, or whatever, then that's good. Feel free to share that. I think is there like some sort of survey or something being mentioned or shared? I think I might have seen it. Once again, don't quite know. And you can put all of that sort of stuff in there. They probably won't ask you about the gameplay and things like that in it, because it's not about that. But they might do. I don't know. So yeah, play it, see what you say. Nice. Okay, that's enough of the PES stuff. Like I said, we weren't going to cover it because we are close to some bits, but not close to other bits. Hopefully it's just a case if you get on, the game feels responsive enough in terms of there's no input laggy kind of stuff. That's the kind of thing I would assume that you probably want to be looking at. Not whether the animations link, not whether the nets wobble in the right way, that sort of stuff. Obviously, I know that's a bit pedantic, but yeah, it's whether it feels like it's responding enough. Not necessarily whether the animations and stuff are clunky, because that's a whole different ball game, no pun intended. But yeah, jumping back up, it could be just that, but as soon as you do something like this public facing, it needs to be clear. This is not. If you're doing a test like this, keep it private, not open to everyone. Exactly. I mean, and that's the kind of thing where you feel free to draw those conclusions, because that is legitimate conclusions. It's just. Yeah, that legitimate conclusion is the reason why people will start judging the gameplay, because they assume, without the lack of information, that the gameplay is what should be judged. But it's not. It's not. But that's the point. Most communities and most people that play a game are unaware. Genuinely, I'm going to pick a number out of my ass, but it will stress my point. Let's say 70% of people that play a game would not have seen the early access, would not have seen the alphas and the betas and the closed beta tests and the community hands-ons and things like that. They will just see it on a shelf in Asda or Game or Tesco or whatever and pick it up and play it. A large proportion of people aren't aware of that stuff. So when people see that this is out, new football game in the middle of a football period, understandably, they will start judging it and going, ugh. But yeah. Yes, putting out with fanfare is a bit with no fanfare is a bit strange. I think that's because. Do you know what? I don't know. The announcement date is the online test on the ad boards. That in itself is hilarious. Playing it down, but throwing an important data there. Contradictory as fuck. Yeah. Retro Goal was released today. Only on App Store though.
I'm looking forward to that. I am actually looking forward to that. That looks like a brilliant game.
Do me a favour, Lake, or anyone, drop me a link to Retro Goal. I want to see what this is. About to open the open beta.
It's New Star Soccer's new game.
Oh yeah, do you know what? It was basically Sensi vibes. That's kind of what I was.
It was.
Yeah. Good shout. I might reach out to New Star. Is it just iOS, or is it coming to Switch and stuff like that? Only App Store though.
But it's definitely coming to mobile.
Android version of Retro Goal is coming later. Tito says first game, a casual 5-5. Connection felt okay. See, that's the stuff that I kind of want. I mean, obviously, I will take a lot of that stuff with a pinch, because I am kind of close to it, kind of stuff. So for me, I'm happy enough to ignore the other stuff because I'm in a different position to most people. But yeah, I'm happy enough to see connection stuff being good, because that's what it's being judged about. But yeah, when people start using alpha, I proper facepalmed. Alphas are usually just cubes and spheres to prove that the engine, etc. For sure. Like when you get just a bright green sky because they haven't put the sky in, or you're holding a sword and the sword is a blob that says add data here or whatever. You're swinging around a big purple rectangle kind of thing, or whatever. I finished 2 games, won them both, 3 games DQ. Hammer says aesthetically it looks quite pleasing. I hope they do keep some aspects like the gameplay menus. Is it big change? Because obviously menus haven't changed for a few years. I genuinely haven't seen it. I have not seen a single minute of this or the next PES or whatever. I am genuinely. You guys are probably further ahead than me and Bib at this point in terms of what it looks like and stuff. So I'll download it. I'll play it. I'll give it a look in today. That small info on the press event is a big yikes indeed. I'm scared to open it. We had no warning. What do you mean? What do you mean? I sent you whispers for days. You read them. 21st July, last sense. We'll talk when things like this happen at Konami. My educated, well done insight says, "Cause Japan." Keeping moving on. Coming to Switch Pro 4K confirmed. Nice. So yes, anyway, if you had seen our tweets, we weren't going to talk about PES, so we've kind of boxed that off. We spoke about it, but we didn't really speak about it because we don't want to say too much. We don't know anything to say, but people will take things out of context. So yeah, there is a new online beta performance test thing from Konami. Just don't read too far into it. Go in, draw some conclusions, make some educated guesses, maybe, by all means. Just keep in mind that it's just to look at the way that things play online. Anyway, okay. back into the real news, the stuff that we had planned. The first story of the day will give you a look at one of. I mean, we've obviously, for hyperbole, referenced it as, is this the worst press event ever? I mean, there's probably worse. There probably is worse. But you know what? That's not going to get people to click on the stories, is it? So anyway, we'll kick things off. Sniper Ghost Warrior contracts, a game that we have worked on. Actually, you can see the box there. That black box there is Sniper Ghost Warrior contracts influencer box, press kit, whatever you want to call it. We've worked with them on the release of Sniper Ghost Warrior contracts, and it was wonderful. Sniper Ghost Warrior contracts 2. Not so much. That's what we're going to lead with. Then we're going to jump into the fact that Aliens Fireteam is coming in August with a slightly new name. Oculus developer pulls out of in-headset VR ads trial. We spoke about that last week, so we've got an update on that story for you. Space Jam, the movie sequel, is being turned into a retro-style beat-em-up game for Xbox and PC. We'll bring you that soon. I believe, I mean, I could be wrong. I didn't really pay that much attention. I thought I heard that it was coming to other consoles too, but just Xbox and PC first, but I could be wrong. We'll jump into the article and get all the details, and then we'll wrap up with some free games. It's not Free Game Friday, and they're technically not free because it's Xbox Game Pass, but we'll tell you what new games that you can play if you're an Xbox Game Pass subscriber. But first, Bib, would you like to go to a world-class Sniper Ghost Warrior contracts launch event?
Yes, Graham, I absolutely would.
Would you like to go to an absolute dogshit one?
Yes, so I can compare them.
Okay, well, just for full disclosure, obviously we didn't want to talk about PES because we still do quite a lot of stuff with Konami. I say still do, as if it's... we work with Konami, that's what I'm trying to say. We had previously worked with CI Games on Sniper Ghost Warrior contracts. And we did an event that we are very, very much proud of. However, Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 2 has just had a press event, and it didn't quite have the same levels of success as the one that we delivered. So obviously, feel free to take this however you want. We have an event that is essentially a competitor to this, so feel free to take this as just sour grapes from us or whatever. We will try to not do that. We'll try to be a bit more objective, but naturally, we have a hand in... You get it, fine. Okay, we'll jump in. Eric Switzer at The Gamer says, the Sniper Ghost Warrior press event made me pretend to kill Arabs, and I hated it. Standard, as you'd probably expect. But a recent press event for Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 2 highlighted just how casual American culture is about violence towards Arab people. There's nothing media types like myself enjoy more than an in-person event. They're always a great opportunity to learn more about upcoming games, chat with developers face-to-face, and catch up with other games journalists and content creators. A lot of gaming sites, The Gamer included, are decentralized, so the only opportunity I have to meet up with my co-workers and other games writers is at conventions, press events, and in-person play sessions. I can't overstate just how important these outings are for us and how much we look forward to them all year. Of course, the pandemic changed everything. The last event I made it to before lockdown was PAX East in March 2020. Okay, I'm going to stop just a second. I only included that bit to give you the kind of scene setter. So this guy was super looking forward to going to a press event. He's been cooped up in his house. He doesn't work with his colleagues. He doesn't meet people. So he's just sat at his laptop on his own. As it kind of summarized in the final sentence of that, in 2020, I watched Summer Game Fest alone in my room and cried a lot, is what he's put there. So you get this. This person has the bar set quite low for going to a press event. They want to go out, mingle with other content creators, have some potentially fun experiences, learn about new games, and then write about the content. Nice. Surely that's easy enough to do. Maybe not. Maybe not. Earlier this month, I was invited to an event celebrating the launch of Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 2. At this point, I would have taken an offer to tour a saltwater taffy factory in New Jersey as part of a promotion for the next Candy Crush Saga update. That's a free one, Activision. I signed up immediately and drove down to sunny San Diego 2 weeks later for a day of Sniper Ghost Warrior-related fun. I had no idea what to expect when I got there, partially because every press event is different, but mostly because the PR company running the event had been intentionally vague in the weeks leading up to it. I'd get funny emails that said things like, hope you have a blast, winky face, and make sure you wear pants with belt loops, which is an oddly specific request. I figured I'd get to play the game and chat with the devs, but after that, who knows? Was I going to get to fire an actual sniper rifle? My mind was racing. We've done that for a different event as well, by the way. Shout out to Sniper Elite. I drove down on a Friday and stayed in a hotel with other attendees. In the morning, I met the rest of the group, 5 writers like myself and 5 influencers from YouTube and Twitch. We got on a bus without any preamble and headed 15 minutes down the road to meet the Incredible Adventures team. Incredible Adventures is a name there, by the way, at the Strategic Operations facility. Strategic Operations Inc., formerly the Stu Seagal San Diego studio, was a full-service film and TV studio built in the early 90s. Okay, fast forwarding. The strategic ops facility looks a lot like a set you might see in American Sniper, Lone Survivor, or any other military propaganda film. The streets are paved with dirt, broken down, abandoned vehicles are covered in grime, and the short, featureless huts look like they're made out of mud. It's the Middle East, as we're often shown via Western media, a gross, twisted doppelganger that doesn't actually represent life in that part of the world at all. A series of nondescript yellow circles hang in one window, demonstrating that art does not exist in this society. A pile of rotten meat sits on a nearby table next to a decaying pig head, because the people here eat filth, apparently. I think I've painted a clear enough picture. There's a flag that says Trump 2024, the Revenge Tour, flying on the main building, which almost makes me get back on the bus. It's a pretty hostile message to send to everyone who uses this facility, military and civilian alike. Between that and being told that no one here will be wearing masks, I have my guard up immediately. Once inside, we're introduced to the Incredible Adventures instructors who will be leading us through the day's activities. Apologies, this is a hugely long article, but it just gets worse and worse and worse. The 4 combat veterans are led by a guy named Tosh, who wears a brace with a hook on the end of it wrapped around his left wrist. The event organizer addresses the group by welcoming us to a day of sniper training, but Tosh corrects him. Let's call it a sniper adventure. We break up into groups and spend most of the day learning how to breach a building, systematically move down a street while in hostile territory, and handle a weapon. That stuff not too bad. Okay, just that bit on its own. We're each given an M4 rifle converted to fire simunition, which has a similar impact to airsoft, and we practice firing them and running various military drills. As we run drills, no one refers to the people we're talking learning to kill as Muslim, Middle Eastern, or Arab. Anytime the instructors refer to them, they say enemies, bad guys, or the other guys. Of course, it's impossible to ignore the fact that the bad guys are most certainly Arabs here. At the end of the day, we run a combat scenario where we trade fire with role players dressed in white robes with, I always get this word wrong, is it a keffiyeh? Is that how you pronounce it? The actors are all white, I think, and I can't decide what's worse. White people dressing up like Arabs to be shot at, or subjecting actual Arab people to this experience. The other thing we don't talk about is Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 2. My understanding is that the Polish developers from CI Games had intended to be there, but pandemic issues and travel restrictions prevented them from coming. There's a bank of PCs in the main building where people can play the game, but aside from lunch, there's no scheduled time for heading inside. What's more, the game came out the day before the event, which isn't typical for press events like this. I had received my review code earlier in the week and was already playing it at home, so I didn't spend any of my time at the Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 2 event playing or talking about Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 2, which seems a bit odd before you even get into everything else wrong with what's going on here. Do you know, I'm going to try and stop. See if there's any... Anyway, there you go, lumps of meat and stuff. Okay, let me just finish. That's the final paragraph. I'll read the final one. We get a gift bag at the end of the day filled with survival tools like a fire starter, a rope, saw, a compass, a pen that can break glass, and a collapsible baton, just in case we'd like to do some more violence later. When it's all over, the event photographer asks us to take a group photo with the role players. The participants are asked to stand in a row facing the role players with their fists raised in anger, while the role players are instructed to put their hands in the air and ululate like a jihadist. Another writer and I gave each other Another writer and I gave each other a horrified look, and I pretend to take a phone call and step away. Imagine that being the end of the article. Fuck. So yeah, anyway, a lot of content to take in there. If you work in the video games industry and you're looking at doing an event, do better is the way I would put that. Bib, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. It mentioned in the article about CI Games not being there because of the pandemic and they couldn't fly and stuff like that. I imagine they probably would have been horrified if they was at the event. It's just, was the agency actually there, or did they just fire people over to an event, and then the people who was hosting the event, i.e. the people who worked at this particular, like we had the prison, didn't we? So they had the prison event staff there. But wherever this is, did they have the event staff there? Was it just those that are hosting it? Because this seems a bit deep. Do you know what I mean?
Say it again. You was breaking up for me, but I was also reading in chat. So say it again. I was trying to catch up with what Asim was saying. But yeah, say it.
Right, I'll try and remember what I've just said. But I was saying about CI Games potentially if they was there, because it mentioned in the article that there wasn't, that the people who was obviously worked on the game, the people in the marketing department at CI Games, they've signed something off. But if they was at the event, they may have been a little bit more horrified at what they was getting, because we don't know whether or not the agency that was looking after it went with the people who they invited, or they were just sent to a location where people who are hosting the event at whatever it is were the only people that was there. Do you know what I mean? Like it was only the event staff that was there. It wasn't the agency or anyone from CI Games. So it just felt like no one was monitoring what the fuck were going on, shall we say?
Do you know, I think that's nail on the head sort of situation. This shows that, I mean, I put, if anyone follows me on Twitter, I put out a tweet thread, and it was basically an advertisement for Jelly Media, essentially. It wasn't intended to be that, but I was trying to show that we've been around doing this kind of shit for a long old time, and theoretically, a lot of people can put on events. A lot of people can hire someone to do something for you, but it's what goes beyond that. Okay, having a room and having someone telling you to do ABC is an event. Ta-da! But you get people that are event organizers, event management teams that are specialists in delivering a process that has a bit of narrative built in. So it's not just turn up and do something. It's that why am I turning up? What is the reason for me doing this? What is the emotions, the feelings that I should be taking away? What are the things that I don't want to be taking away? How will other people perceive this from the outside? How can this content that we are doing here be done in a way that either writers can get what they need to put something together, put words down on paper or on a website that will share the messages that you need to share for your game? How could the event that you're doing here be captured on a camera that content creators can take and put in a YouTube video or a Twitch stream or whatever? Because there's getting people to shoot stuff is easy enough. Getting that to change into all of those messages, stuff that's not offensive, stuff that is inclusive, stuff that is true to the game and true to real life, whilst also being PRable, because that's the hardest part of it. I mean, shout out to OG Bibby in the chat. OG Bibby actually worked on this event with us, by the way. He was I don't know what title he had at the event, but I'm just going to say badass event guru. That was his pretty much beg. That's it. He was the beg, the badass event guru. So Bibby has shitloads. Not this Bibby. OG Bibby. By the way, we actually had a
not me.
Yeah, we had a bib off at this event. By the way, there's like a target practice shooting game, and because Bibby was there and OG Bibby was there, we had a battle to see who was the one true Bibby. So Bibby there is not the true Bibby, by the way. He lost the battle. I mean, he got balls on him though, because he went into a room with about 6,000 people with guns shooting the shit out of him, and he knew it was going to happen. So GG's on that. But still, yeah. Anyway, massive tangents.
That was so painful.
Yeah, I know. I'm stood there with my little pistol going. Anyway, the point being though that like OG Bibby will tell you that there's a lot of psychology in event production before you even consider all of the socioeconomic and political messages. Just creating an event with choke points so that people can be scared shitless is hard enough. Then creating that event from another standpoint of how can we capture that event on film, or how can we let other people capture that event in a way that still keeps the immersion but allows them to capture the content. There's all sorts of shit that goes into that. And that is difficult. Finding an agency that has that level of knowledge is difficult. Super difficult. They may have had some of that. I would be surprised if they had the mixture of us and OG Bibby put together. I don't think there'd have been anywhere near that. But then you go beyond that and look at what we did up to that point. They just went, okay, let's just get a bunch of guys in foreign gowns. That's it. I mean, we don't. The word keffiyeh, they probably had no idea that or any of that. Just foreign gowns. He looks foreign. We can shoot him. Jobs are good. And that is just the broad generalization that undermines the quality of what these events could be. So when we did it, we created fictional characters. The game had, I can't remember his name. It's something Sekov. He was either called Sasha Sekov or we created Sasha Sekov. Anyway, there was a character in the game called something Sekov. So we created an additional character called Sekov, which we then put into sheets with mission briefings and so on that we shared out before, which kind of built the whole storyline. We started to look back into started off with the Cold War and then moving forward through time to make sure that everything we're doing is kind of true to point and not being a bit shit, because we knew bits about Russian conflict, but most of the stuff that we knew was from Hollywood, which is very one-dimensional. So we started doing a little bit of digging into what the stories could be and so on. So we had Sasha Sekov, I think, was the fake one that we made. We had another target that needed to be eliminated, which was called Vasilisk. And I think that name came from the fact that Vasily was an old name from back in the Sniper Ghost Warrior Contract series, and Basilisk is a snake / deadly enemy kind of thing. So Vasilisk is something that so we had all sorts of hidden meanings that were quite deep, going through stuff that people probably wouldn't have picked up on, but if someone dug into it, they'd seen that we'd done our sort of due diligence. And even today I tweeted this picture from Arix. This is so we sent out some stuff, and in it was a mixtape, basically. So there it is on screen. There's the stuff. So this stuff at the back. So yeah, go target Sash. That's going to say target Sasha Sekov, sibling to Igor Sekov. That's it. Igor Sekov was in the game. Sasha Sekov was the one that we created. And then here is the mixtape and the songs on it. The Seeker, Psycho Killer, License to Kill, Killing in the Name of, Baby Shot Me Down, Hit Me With Your Best Shot. All good names, but then a lot of people probably wouldn't have noticed that Seeker is in bold there, which is the name of your character. Then P is in bold, L is in bold, A is in bold, Y is in bold. So it says Seeker, Play Me, Handler. And the handler is the name of the person that gives you missions. So all sorts of super deep shit that we got into there. And this is just us sending out pre-event shit. If we can go through that level of detail, planning to give people an immersive event, surely you can do better than he looks foreign, shoot him. Surely there is better options out there.
It's outrageous, isn't it?
It's
genuinely outrageous.
So bad.
The thing is, though, people are going to be looking at that Gamer article because that's got shared, that's gone around like wildfire. Like outlets are picking it up left, right, and center. Like this isn't a good look for CI Games, and they probably had zero to do with it. They just signed it off to a marketing agency, but that marketing agency now is going to be in the mud. Like, how can you That's oh my god! CI Games have just tweeted, "Here we fucking go." Right, I'm just gonna put this in the chat so you can bring it up.
Oh, let me just before we do bring that out, I'm gonna drop it back down to a bit more comedy again. That tape that I've just showed you, by the way, not everyone played it because obviously press and content creators have got a shitload to do, and why would they load that up to just listen to? It's Going Down by Linkin Park, and Execution is banger of a tune, by the way. But why would they listen to that when they can play that anyway? But if they'd have put that USB stick into their laptop, as Next Gen Bass have just said, the mixtape was brilliant, but mainly because the only audio file on it was Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Astley. So we rickrolled them as well. So yeah, there you go. Anyway, okay, let's click this link. Let's see what we're actually looking at. Okay. The tweet has gone out with a message, an open response to the Gamer website article regarding our recent press event. We were deeply disturbed to read the report from the Gamer website with regards to the live event held to support the launch of Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 2. CI Games abhors racism of any kind, and as a Polish studio based in Warsaw, we have absolutely no affiliation with any US political party or movement. Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 2 follows a purely fictional narrative based in a purely fictional setting. We try very hard to ensure we're avoiding stereotypes or representing cultures in any negative way. Respect and tolerance are keystones of our company's culture, and we were distressed to discover that an event meant to be fun and engaging for participants had instead caused offence for some attendees. The launch event took place on an authentic military training base in San Diego and aimed to replicate how real US Navy SEALs train, featuring standard military procedures and techniques. The intention was to give press and journalists a real-life taste of what it would be like to be Raven, the game's protagonist, in a setting similar to that of Kuama, the fictional region where the game is set. We had asked the events company to change the outfits of the enemies in order to match those that are represented in the game, which are specifically designed to avoid any direct or indirect cultural representations. We were informed that in order to preserve the authenticity of their training event, this request was declined. Unfortunately, due to the pandemic, our team was unable to travel to the event from Europe, so we weren't able to engage directly in the running of the event. As a result, certain decisions were overlooked and the event was conducted in a way that's not in line with our thinking or beliefs. We would like to apologise directly to Eric Switzer from the game and to any other participants who found the event offensive. Although the COVID restrictions made arranging this event unusually difficult, we take full responsibility and will work hard to ensure that in future any events associated with the Sniper Ghost Warrior franchise live up to the standards of respect and tolerance that we set ourselves, the CI Games team. Do you know what I will say off the bat? GG's. Like, we first saw this a couple of hours ago. It's now 12:30. That tweet came out 5 minutes ago. So at least they've owned it off the bat. That's my first impression. They've tried to they've tried to explain why. They're not justifying it, but they've tried to explain why, but accepted the blame straight off the bat. I'll give them that, because I genuinely, not as a judgment of CI Games, just as a judgment of other brands in the industry, that you don't always get people accepting the mistakes. There's always someone else to blame, or you just shut up and don't say anything. So they've said something about it. I'll give them the credit there. Is that enough, though?
They're also taking responsibility whilst not taking responsibility. They're taking responsibility because it's under their banner, but agency didn't. They're not taking responsibility for hiring the agency. Is that right?
Kind of. I mean, the thing that I start to stop drawing the line. I genuinely applaud them for apologising and coming out and saying that off the bat. But however, there was a paragraph, two and a half paragraphs talking about how they don't want any sort of exclusion. They want to be inclusive and stuff like that. And I genuinely believe that about CI Games as well, by the way, unless anyone has anything to say anything different. I've not found anything that would suggest otherwise from my dealings with them. However, they wanted outfits that, like their characters, are specifically designed to avoid any direct or indirect cultural representations. Okay, that's fine. That sounds like a non-negotiable agreement to me. We've made it in the game. We do not want anything that's super generalizing. We were informed that in order to preserve the authenticity of their training event, this request was declined. You are paying these people. How are you requesting and having them telling you, nah, mate, actually, no, we need to shoot the foreigners. No, they have to be wearing keffiyehs and robes. We don't want them wearing pants and stuff because that's a little bit too close. So, yeah, it's how would you get declined there? Hamish, thank you very much for the raid with the party of 15. Appreciate you. We are in the middle of a deep story of Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 2 press event. We actually worked at the Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 1 press event, which was really good. This one, not so much. Mercenary Xbox says, wow, join the stream and you say shoot the foreigners. I mean, that genuinely is a valid comment for what we're saying. So if you haven't seen it, it's a long old read, so I'll put the link to the article in the chat. But thegamer.com were invited to play to Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 2 press event, and that was the gist of it. The event was just basically about killing foreigners. It was that US Arab sort of stereotyping sort of stuff. That's kind of what we're at about. So yeah, that's what I say. It wasn't my thoughts, by the way. That was just obviously what this is all kind of circling. Anyway, let me jump back through the comments because there has been a lot naturally. Correction worked on with a competent people. Person. I can't remember. I don't know if you're calling me competent or you competent or the people you work with competent. A retro style beat 'em up. Huh? Weird, but okay, I guess. What? This event sounds like 1, the PR marketing team has no clue, and 2, the agency was shy. I mean, that's the thing. So looping in where we were kind of assuming and guessing, and their apology, I do feel a bit for CI Games. Not that it excuses them from it, but I do feel in the fact that COVID has had implications and restrictions, and you do kind of put you put your faith in the agencies and the suppliers, the subcontractors that you're paying to carry your brand. We know that. We carry brands for other people. That's our job. That's what we do in the video games industry. But we make sure that we fucking nail it. And yeah, we're not perfect. We'll probably make some mistakes. We'll probably have done. We probably will make more. But not that. There's different levels. And the agency that they've had and put in place should have been carrying their brand as if it's their own. CI Games have been let down by their agency, no question. So whilst the book ultimately stops with CI Games, they have been shit on by their suppliers, which comes back to the final thing that I said in my tweet thread earlier on. Anyone can do an event, but not everyone has your true interests at heart or will dedicate enough time to fully understand the implications of everything that your event or project or narrative or story or whatever will say. So it's to wrap it up, anyone will take your money, but not everyone will take your money and do a good job. And CI Games, I've found that out, sadly, for those guys, which is a shame. I mean, obviously, it's a fucking horrendous shame for Eric Switzer having to go through this event, but yeah. Next Gen Base says, yes, this is absolutely sounded like an agency gone rogue. Not much insight from the devs, just here's the game in the Middle East. Let's send them to the racist shooty bang place and leave it there. Bibby says the event was definitely a case of crap communication and not checking the final delivery agents. Number one rule of events, don't hire fascists. I'm still salty about having my time beaten on the shooting gallery. We did. Ben was robbed. Yeah, it was Cyborg Angel. She was fucking ridiculous. The worst thing is I've done quite a bunch of shooting stuff over the years, and my time was mediocre at best. And Cyborg's done quite a lot of airsoft stuff as well. And she was like, yeah, I think I might be all right. Fucking nailed it. Absolutely breezed past everyone. Yeah. There was an SAS guy, the Marine guy that was like teaching us. Yeah, she smashed him. She beat his score. Fucking ridiculous.
She won the airsoft rifle as well, didn't she?
Yeah, full-size sniper rifle. That's what. Did I say sniper rifle? Whatever. If I didn't, I'll say sniper rifle now. But yeah, she won the sniper rifle. She got it sent home. That's what everyone was playing for. We didn't tell people at the event, but that was the special prize. She won a full-size, like, super kitted out sniper rifle. I worked on the event we did with Sniper Ghost Warriors with you guys, Jelly Media, for months on the event. Every little detail we ironed out and meticulously approved. And that's the point. That's the point. I mean, it's your choices of staffing. Obviously, they had an asset in Mr. T sat there who wanted the details to be meticulously ironed out, but they also had an agency that were there proactively ironing out details meticulously as well, and it just doesn't seem like they've had that at that. Shit, it's getting close. Fuck it, we'll throw the event out. I mean, the fact that it's after the launch, that's either stinks of, okay, it's just gone to shit, calendars have shot, things have been cancelled, things have been removed, we can't get people there or whatever, so fuck it, that'll do. And it's just gone out half-assed because people have had money invested and hopefully we can make something out of it. It kind of smells of that. Or it was just poorly planned from the off kind of thing. Which I do feel a bit sorry for CI Games in either of those sort of situations because, yeah, that's kind of, like I say, once again, that's where you're hoping that the agency you choose flies the flag for you. And they didn't. Me from the CI Games side was invested from day one. You guys from Jelly Media side were invested from day one. I made sure you got everything you needed to know about the game, and you guys wanted to know everything so you can make it the best it could be. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know. Maybe other agencies have probably done that sort of stuff, but creating fictional personas like Sasha Sekov and how we can loop that into the story. So when you get to the event and you shoot that person that's dressed as a villain, why are you shooting that person? Is it just a foreign person? A target? No, there's a narrative. There's a reason that Sasha Sekov is through Sek Oil is anyway. Long story short, big ass fucking reason for this person to be taken out. It's not just a foreign person that you shoot. There's a reason behind it all, and that's the kind of bit. OG Bibby, who is this imposter? That's the OG Bibby. he's not always in the stream, but he does listen on demand as well. But OG Bibby, aka John Bibby, aka Z Events fame, aka Shooty Bang guy extraordinaire. Yes, I remember working on that character with Jess. Exactly. There was Sasha and Vasilisk. Yeah, that's the other one I've already said. It's a fair response, but again, having insight, having worked there, they should be taking blame too and owning up to not overseeing it properly. Exactly, that's the thing. I will give them a high five for saying that they fucked up, but it stops short. It needs a bit more. If I fucked up the event I worked on with you guys, I would need to own up to it. I mean, I didn't, as you guys nailed it, but we know. Yeah. Hang on, they declined a client request. Is that normal? I mean, seems like it. I mean, we wouldn't do that if we said. Actually, do you know what? Let me say we wouldn't do that if we said. Let me give you a real world example. We went to our event was in an abandoned prison, which sounds cool, but is a logistical nightmare because it's freezing as fuck. It's not a building that is regularly cleaned. You don't have food and drink and the internet and all of that shit on the site. So building a PC control room, command center sort of place for content creators to come and play games in there's all sorts of shit that you've got to put in place for that. Then you've got the story, like we had 3 parts of it. We had a shooting gallery, we had like a live action exercise where you've got to move through a building and there's people in it, you've got to kill them all, pick up some weapons and shit and get out the other end and snipe someone. And then there was a third bit which was like a code deciphering puzzle sort of room. But to get that in place, we said, like, to OG Bibbit, okay, we need this to work, but we need a way to get from A to B in this building. And we literally broke down walls in the building, smashed through walls, and had other walls built up so we could filter them in a physical direction. We broke down walls physically, and they just couldn't wear different clothes. So, yeah, declining requests from the client, that's poor management from the agency there. Okay, this is non-negotiable. We do not want racial stereotypes. I'm sorry, we have to have racial stereotypes in the game. Oh, okay, yeah, fine. Racial stereotyping is fine. Yeah, we'll go with that. Says no agency ever. So yeah, it's not good enough. Sounds like they just hired military training event providers to do the event. I mean, that's what it was. That's what it was exactly. So those guys have probably thought they've done a really good job, but from their own walled off bubble, that's not really looking at the wider implications. And that's kind of the thing again, is there's all these loads of different angles that you can look at this. Is our viewpoint better than these military guys' viewpoints and stuff? I mean, I would argue yes, naturally. But that's the point, is getting people that have narrow viewpoints doesn't necessarily give you content and output that mirrors all of your viewpoints. So you might get some military guys that can do an event, but do they fully understand what you're trying to deliver? No, they don't, because they had a Trump.
Don't forget, though, this is in America. Like, they've got Trump fucking completely different. Yeah, they've got a completely different mentality over there. Like this, like you can just go to it. You can literally do your full shop and also walk out with a handgun or whatever else. So the way that they look and approach things are completely different to what we would do over here. Like, we have health and safety over here. They don't have any of that shit. And I make it sound like it's a third world country, but it genuinely isn't. And they just don't give a fuck, which is basically what 99% of the attendees at the event was like. And then the couple of people who was kind of like, oh, I'm not too sure about this. They'll pull it. The gamer have kind of made it sound a little bit more political, but it's just writing from someone who's got an experience of potentially not wanting to shoot somebody else who's dressed like an Arab for political reasons. If you've got a Trump flag flying high, then obviously at a venue, I'd say it's going to be a heavily politicized event without it being mentioned as being a political event. So it genuinely just the way that the Americans are. They don't give a fuck. This I'd say wouldn't fly over in the UK. Potentially would in some areas of the country or some events. It's just the way it is. They fucking love that shit over there. They lap it up like 99% of the attendees were doing. They was more than happy to be able to join and do stuff like that. But it's like I said, the other people who didn't want to do it and pretended to do something else instead just have a different mindset or politically on a different line, which is absolutely fine. But that's one thing that I hate more than fucking anything is politics. It's genuinely the most boring thing in the world to me, because there's just so much that goes around it. You can never have a good discussion with someone about it. Like, it'll never end well. So yeah, it's just the way it is, unfortunately, over there.
Jumping back into the chat, Tito says, Enix says, CI Games hired agency hires military training program at military base. Military trainer said no, but still they are being paid. Exactly. That's where you go, okay, well, if you're not going to do it, you're not going to get paid and we'll go somewhere else. Ta-da, boom. That's it. There is no discussion. Move on. And if they go, okay, well, it's close to your launch date, you're not going to find anywhere else that's going to do it. So you either use us or you don't. You just go, well, we don't. Because if you don't, the alternative is that you spend tens of thousands of dollars on this event, and then you get this level of press coverage. So sometimes it's better to just cut your losses if it gets to that point. I mean, it wouldn't have got to that point. We'd have fucking sorted that shit out. But when it gets to that point, yeah, no. We're just going to say to Asim that whenever my clients ask me for something, I'll explain technical limitations or reasons why I think it's not a good idea. But if the client insists, then I do what they say. Exactly. We understand that you think it will damage immersion. However, it won't damage immersion because we aren't playing Generalization Simulator. We're playing Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts. So actually, you're breaking the immersion for our game, which is what it's all about, mate. Okay, keep it going. It's a game, says Merc. Yeah, we're talking about Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts, which you probably get at this point. On a scale of 1 to Graham, how tired are 10? I'm fucking knackered. 1:30 this morning, we finally logged off. But yeah, we jumped back on with some more PUBG in a bit. Nice. Eternal Lee, good morning. Says, just jumped on, wonder if you mentioned this. Goodness me, I read it this morning. It just, wow. Those guys could learn a lot from you for how to make a press event become a more intricate part of the campaign. And you too. You guys did so you guys had the likes of Tommy T999 and co at a shooting range in the UK. Straightforward, good old-fashioned snipery goodness. No generalization shit or whatever looped into it. You do not need that level of bullshit thrown into it. Because, I mean, if you, like, and even with just the straightforward shooting snipery stuff, you can do that wrong. But yeah, the point is you didn't. Yeah, but yeah, Cyborg Angel is a very good gamer and a skilled shooter in general. She's ridiculously good with a gun, like stupidly. But she does a lot of airsoft stuff in her own time anyway. She absolutely hustled. She did, full on. Went in going, I don't really know what I'm doing. And then, and it's like, fuck, what the fuck did you just do? I didn't even know a gun could make that many clicks. How did you do that? Eternally says, yeah, stinks of a hastily arranged, no thought put into shit. We've got a spare budget kind of event. They're always the worst. Yeah, either that or shit, we're going to lose out on the budget, so might as well use it. Which, let's spend money to get ourselves into the shit. Nope, just lose the money. Just get rid of it. My wife is now saying sniper rifle, so cheers, lads. Do you know what? It stuck in my head. I said it months ago, taking the piss, like sniper rifle. But now I've like earwormed myself. So it's like Xbox Boss. Like, I say Xbox Box or whatever, and now it's Xbox Box plays with a sniper rifle. Fuck! So yeah, Shooty Bang Guy was my wrestling name. This whole story is just awful. Like, what the fuck were they thinking? Yeah. Play PES 2022, please. There is no PES 2022. There is online game something or other like that. I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, there is no PES 22. Get out of here. But yeah, let's move ahead. So Sniper Ghost Warrior press event, not very good. Sniper Ghost Warriors teams at CI games more than likely let down by their agents. So new football game, there you go. So that more than likely let down by their agents. I do not think this is representative of CI. I do not think that gives them a free pass just because they've said sorry, though. Need to improve, do better. Show us how they're going to do better. Get rid of the fucking agencies. Do you know what? Come back to agencies that have done it well before. But yeah, anyway, that's us trying to get a bit of business off the back end of it. Yeah, you go. That's I was about that for cold. Yeah, you want to be racial stereotyping? Pay us. No. No, seriously, whether it's us, whether it's someone in the US, I mean, we wouldn't have been able to do this anyway, because we wouldn't have been able to be their boots on the ground, which is an issue for us, is how could we have been there at that event? Because we can't travel to America. We are physically not allowed to go to the US, so we couldn't have held those guys to any level of standards. So that's why I say I do feel sorry for the team at CI. Their agents have let them down. That said, if they chose their agents based in Europe, because obviously they're a Polish dev, and their agents couldn't travel over, they would have had a lot of the problems that we would have had. But that is where we would have gone, okay, we need a boots on the ground partner. If we do events and stuff in Latin America, for example, we have partners that we can use to be our stand-ins in Latin America. We believe in them, we trust them, and if we do an event or activity there that we are being paid for, our name as well as our client's name is on the line, so we get our local agents to step in for us. Jobs are good, but anyway, yeah. Whole different thing. New football game online performance test on Nugopter. Now PES is dead. I like it, it's catchy. New football game that isn't PES 22, but please play it and give us feedback for PES 22. Oh, and we're definitely not advertising the announcement date of PES 22 in it. Yeah, not PES 22, wink, wink. Touche. Rolls off the tongue like a broken Lego brick. Anyway, speaking about weird names, or maybe new names at least, let's take a tangent into the next news article. That's Aliens Fireteam is coming in August with a slightly new name. This is written by Andy Chalk at PC Gamer. It says Aliens Fireteam Elite is now called, as it's now called, pits squads of 3 colonial marines. Let me hit play on this. There we go. Aliens Fireteam Elite, as it's now called, pits squads of 3 colonial marines against endless hordes of Xenos, Xenos, and synths, should I say. How do you pronounce that? Because it's a xenomorph, or is it a xenomorph? You know what I mean. Anyway,
I say xenomorph. That's just what it is.
Xenos.
Each their own.
That's what we'll call them. Xenos. Aliens Fireteam, the co-op shooter about a squad of absolute badasses facing off against endless hordes of priapic extraterrestrials, will be out on August the 24th with a slightly changed name. Aliens Fireteam Elite. The Left 4 Dead inspired shooter didn't exactly knock our socks off when we saw it earlier this year. Not that it doesn't appear to be a competent shooter, although we won't have a final word on that until it comes out, but simply because it follows the brilliant and more claustrophobically minded Alien Isolation. As we said in our March 2021 preview, it feels like a step backwards. Quote, there's so much more. There's so much that could be done with the Alien license, and a co-op shooter based on Aliens feels like the lowest hanging fruit. Of course, the other side of the coin is that a guns blazing firefight against alien horrors and Weyland-Yutani synthetics is the sort of thing that stands up pretty well in its own right. The great challenge facing Fireteam may not be the unimaginative approach to the Alien setting, but the overabundance of upcoming Left 4 Dead alikes, including Back 4 Blood, Redfall, The Anacrusis, Rainbow Six Extraction, and Evil Dead. It's a pretty packed field, and no sure bet that another bug hunt will stand out from the crowd. As for the name change, no reason was given, so I can only theorise that it's to reassure players that they are indeed state of the badass art and not just a bunch of grunts. No offence. So there you go. It's coming in August. Slight name change. Don't really think there's much to say on that, is there, Bib? Should we just keep ploughing forward?
Yeah, keep playing forward. I'm just going to say this looks like a bit of me. I cannot fucking wait to play this. I also seen Asim yesterday talking about this. I've just seen him mention it in the chat as well. This looks mega. I cannot wait to play this, regardless of what the review just stated there.
Baby plays shit games, confirmed. We knew it. No, talk about Pokemon Unite. No.
I'll talk that all day with you if you want, Bateson. Hit me up.
Which one's Pokemon Unite now? There's been that many.
It's
Pokemon
the one that MOBA game that's coming out.
Yeah. See,
that's like League of Legends.
I'm more Arceus. That's me, Pokemon Arceus, the narrative story kind of thing.
Well, that's going to be fucking dynamite.
I'm playing that when it comes out. When does it come? Good question.
End of August, I think.
I'm going to read the next article while you Google it. Okay, next bit of news. Oculus developer pulls out of Facebook in-headset VR ads trial, which is nice because we criticise that, and it looks like we're not the only ones, as the tagline says, following backlash and call for refunds. This is written by Tom Phillips at Eurogamer. Resolution Games, the first developer signed up to test Facebook's new plan for in-headset VR ads, has pulled its game Blaston out of the trial. The move follows a huge backlash over the idea of ads appearing in games played using Facebook's Oculus Quest VR headset. Blaston was down as the first game to test the idea, with others due in the coming weeks. Now, an update on the game's official Twitter has stated that Blaston isn't the best fit for this type of advertising test. The trial has now been cancelled. BBC News has reported on the backlash to the original plans, which saw Blaston review bombed on Oculus's own store and Steam, and owners asking for refunds. Previous assurances from Facebook on how it would serve ads and handle user data privacy did nothing to calm a fan base already deeply suspicious of Facebook's ownership of Oculus and its plans for the future. Facebook had previously said it would not use conversation data from apps like Messenger to target in-headset advertising, nor pass on movement data or recording to ad targeting algorithms. However, the in-headset ad system would gain access to details on your Facebook profile, which you need to log into Oculus, plus your Oculus Store purchase history. The two, of course, are linked, and deleting your Facebook account also deletes your Oculus purchases. Facebook is yet to say which other Oculus games might receive in-headset advertising in the future, but Resolution Games has said it may still temporarily try the idea in its free game bit. So Facebook ads, Yikes! Gone for now. No doubt they're coming back. It's not. That's it. It's not game war over. Facebook will bring the ads back. Massive revenue. It was stupid not to. And I'm not against ads putting in there in some ways, shape, or form. As we spoke about previously, just do it in the right way. Do it creatively. Do it in a way that is adds benefit. Isn't sneaky and shady. But do you trust Facebook to not be sneaky and shady with your data? That's the issue. Your data's, they've got your data. You got a Facebook account, they know. So they're just using it to sell to you in the right ways and so on. Do it in the right ways. But that's a fucking whole loads of pitfalls. How do you do it in the right ways? Can we believe them to do it in the right ways? Blah 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 blah. Anyway, babe. Before I ask you about Oculus headset, Pokemon Unite, when does it come out?
July. It doesn't give a date, but it just says July 2021 on Nintendo Switch, and September, again, no date for mobile devices.
Okay, well, Next Gen Base says it comes about 4 hours before Baby does.
I mean, standard.
Sounds gentle.
Just to clear something up as well about the Facebook and VR stuff. As far as I'm aware, including this article, it only says that this game is the one that's been taken out because of the review bombing and stuff like that. Facebook are still going to continue to give ads with whatever game is going to be there. It's just that Blaston have just stated that they don't want to be a part of this anymore because their game is getting review bombed to shit.
Yeah, well,
so yeah, expect more games to have that kind of.
It's not even all of their games. So they've pulled out for Blaston, but their other game Bates, which they clearly don't care about, they still might let that one go for it. So understandably,
yeah,
they've pulled out, but the damage is done at this point. You've kind of you've damaged yourself. People are not going to play Blaston now. It's done. You are the figurehead for the Facebook mistrust machine. So yeah, damage done. Anyway, we'll keep moving forward. Do you know what? It's time to jam now. Yeah, gotta get up.
It's time to
jam now. Space Jam movie sequel is being turned into a retro style beat 'em up for PC, Xbox and PC, and official Xbox controllers are coming too. Space Jam, the cult. Actually, let me play on the trailer while I'm reading. Space Jam, the cult Looney Tunes meets live action basketball movie from the 90s, is getting the retro style video game beat 'em up treatment for Xbox, PC, and mobile to promote upcoming movie sequel Space Jam: A New Legacy, and it'll be accompanied by a range of new Space Jam themed controllers. According to a new post on Xbox Wire, Space Jam: A New Legacy, the game developed by Digital Eclipse, was inspired by a number of fan-submitted ideas picked as part of a competition held last year. That ultimately led to the creation of a 90s-inspired arcade beat-em-up in which Bugs Bunny, Lola Bunny, and LeBron James engage in some basketball-imbued brawling to defeat a virtual army controlled by a nefarious AI. Fortunately, explains Microsoft, our heroes have access to a variety of moves, including a special basketball and some rather unique Space Jam cards to help them out. Space Jam: A New Legacy, the game launched on the 1st of July and will initially be available exclusively to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscribers on console, PC, and mobile. It'll then get a more general release as a free-to-play title via the Microsoft Store on the 15th of July, one day before the movie hits cinemas and HBO Max in the US. And for those that love Space Jam so much they want to grasp it permanently betwixt their fingers, Microsoft is releasing 3 Space Jam themed Xbox wireless controllers on the 8th of July, each retailing for $70. 2 of these, Goon Squad and Serververse, are exclusively to Amazon in the US, while the third, Tune Squad, will be available globally on the Microsoft Store and through various third-party retailers. Bib, is it time to jam now?
It is fucking time to jam. I'm looking forward to this. It's such a weird... Like, it's such a weird genre of game. Like, I genuinely thought they would have just made, like, a very snide NBA Jam Kids kind of game. But instead they decided to go for a beat-em-ups. It's so bizarre, but again, I'm here all for it. It's going to be on Games Pass. Let's fucking go, baby.
Yeah, all day. I will take this all day. So just in the comments in the chat, that controller in the middle is amazing, says Mr. Garlic Clark. Enix says the blue one on the right looks so good. See, I think I'm the middle one. I think for me, the one on the right is almost too plain. There's a lot going on it, but it's almost just like technical sort of stuff. And the one on the left, I mean, the purple should stand out because it's ICU. I'm just not a fan of the Goon Squad lettering being behind the buttons. It just feels a bit. But yeah, Toon Squad for me is the one I would go for there. That said, yeah, I fucking love the idea of this. This is, like Bibby says, NBA Jam is what you'd expect to be playing, but a side-scrolling beat 'em up sort of. Where's the gameplay start? There we go. Fucking Streets of Rage 4 vibes again. Me and Bibby played through Streets of Rage 4 recently, and it was fucking badass. So yeah, give me this all day. Yes, please.
It's better than Shaq Fu.
No comment.
Yeah.
Next Gen Base says, "Do you trust Facebook?" Just to end the question, just end the question there. Immediate no. Exactly. Chaos Writer Zero says, "I hate what Facebook has become." Next Gen Base says they should make a Duke controller in the Monstars theme. Imagine that fucking. There you go. In before there's an in-game way of playing as Michael Jordan. Ooh. But then again, you know, there's a whole expensive.
I can't see it.
I mean, is Michael Jordan? Do we believe he's going to have a cameo in it? Has it been mentioned at all? Do we think it could happen if it hasn't been mentioned? Because if he has a cameo in it, then maybe in the game. But yeah, that's a whole different area of licensing, and it's like a niche indie title sort of thing. So maybe not. Maybe I don't know. Anyway. Let's wrap things up. We are running over time today because we're on time-ish because we spent a lot of time talking about the CI game Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts event calamity. But we'll do what we tried to do, finish on something a little bit more positive. And when I say positive, I mean free-ish. It's not free because you pay for Xbox Game Pass, but new Xbox Game Pass titles for console, PC, and cloud announced, including Worms Rumble, Iron Harvest, and Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered, written by Tom Ivan at VGC. If you have Xbox Game Pass, these are free in your subscription, if you know what I mean. Anyway, Microsoft has confirmed the next wave of titles coming to Xbox Game Pass for console, PC, and Xbox Cloud Gaming. Worms Rumble, cloud, console, and PC, joins Microsoft's subscription service today ahead of Iron Harvest for PC, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered, console and PC, and Proteus, which is on PC Game Preview on June the 24th. The following titles will be added to Xbox Game Pass on July the 1st. Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts for the cloud, Bug Fables, The Everlasting Sapling, cloud, console, and PC. Do you know what? I'm going to leave the formats out. I'll just read the titles. Gang Beasts, Immortal Realms, Vampire Wars, Limbo, and Space Jam, a new legacy of the game, which you might have just heard about. Microsoft has also added touch controls to 8 more cloud-enabled games available to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate members. They are Dirt 5, Double Kick Heroes, East Shade, Empire of Sin, Haven, Octopath Traveler, Torchlight 3, and Yakuza Like a Dragon. Also, there are some games leaving Xbox Game Pass, and these will be leaving on June the 30th. They include Battle Chasers Night War, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, Mist Over, Monster Hunter World, Out of the Park Baseball 21, Outer Wilds, Soul Calibur 6, and The Messenger. Microsoft confirmed 41 new games coming to Xbox Game Pass during its E3 showcase this month, which we brought you in our live watch-alongs with some of our buddies in the ICU and Friends coverage. But nice. Some good games in there, though. Babe, anything particularly catch your eye?
Yes, Immortal Realms. I haven't the cover art. Did anyone used to judge like DVDs or videos or albums by just cover art? If it was a cool cover art, the game's got to be okay, right?
Should never judge a game by its cover.
Bollocks, we all do it. So
Yeah,
Immortal Realms definitely catches my eye. Worms Rumble, I'll be willing to give that a try, but I think the standout one, the biggest one out of all this, Graham, and this is probably the only time now that I'm going to ask you, are you going to get Xbox Game Pass?
My answer to that is yes.
Can I suggest a game that we could play when you do?
You can suggest, but I don't know when I'm going to get it. At some point, I will.
It begins with G.
Yes.
And ends in Ang Beasts.
Only if we can play a game that begins with P and ends in Arty Animals when that comes out as well. So Gang Beasts and Party Animals, very, very similar games, and both games that I am interested in playing. I mean, Next Gen Base in the chat have said the same thing. Gang Beasts! And I've... My first intro to Gang Beasts was Next Gen Base on a charity stream watching them play it, and it looked fucking manic chaos, but also exceptionally good. So yes, please, I will play some Gang Beasts.
Chaos Riot Zero says there's so many games on there that I wouldn't buy, but but I'm real willing to try games I can play for free.
Exactly.
That couldn't be more accurate in terms of I tried Blair Witch the other day. What a fucking shite game that is. Like, there's no redeeming features of that game whatsoever. And I was super looking forward to it. I was just interested to see how it played. And by God, that has to be one of the worst games that I've played in a long time. But I didn't have to pay for it, so I'm happy with it.
Hashtag Bibby game. Bibby plays shit games.
Oh, you think so? Think so.
Fucking hell, an apartment building has collapsed in Miami. What the fuck? Okay. I'll look at that one after the stream because that would be a massive tangent and then coming back into Game Pass. I'll be up for Gang Beast Sesh, some crazy collab shit. Fuck yeah. Let's go.
Right.
But there you go. If you have
I have got a question though, actually.
Oh, go on, go.
I know we're well in overtime here, but has anyone actually used a Games Pass on their mobile and used touch controls? Because I feel like that wouldn't be the best way to play a game that requires a controller. Like, surely that would be just as bad as playing, like, I can't play mobile games that are touchscreen because I've got proper fat hands and I just end up pressing a million buttons, or it doesn't register because I'm pressing too many buttons at once. But playing a game like, what is it that they've added touch control to? Dirt 5, that'll be terrible to be able to do that. Yakuza Like a Dragon, probably terrible. Like Odds Past Traveler, fair enough. Torchlight, maybe. But playing those there's someone who's playing one in like what's that? Oh, it is Yakuza. I thought they was playing like a Street Fighter game in touch controls. Surely that would be a pain in the ass. Surely.
Well, this is not Xbox, this is PlayStation, but I've used the PS app to do remote play to the PlayStation using my iPhone. And fuck that is just how I would put that off the bat. I mean, I played PUBG, which I know how to play in and out, like inside out, and it's just not a fun experience playing console game. I mean, obviously Xbox like cloud gaming is probably better and more stable than my connection that I had to my PS5. It wasn't smooth, but I would not recommend it. I only did it because it was silly o'clock at night. I was in bed, I couldn't sleep, and I knew that I had one mission on PUBG my daily missions, and it was like the standard sort of play 30 minutes. So I thought, well, I just need to go on, land on the edge of the map and survive. I'd done like 24 minutes out of my 30 and I had to log off, and I thought, fuck, I only need 6 minutes. So I just logged on so I could play for 6 minutes, and that was it. And even that was terrible to do, just trying to no. Bibby is Homer Simpson confirmed. But yeah, there you go. Wrapping things up. Xbox Game Pass has more titles coming, as it always does. Obviously, you have to take the punch as well as giving them. Some titles do leave, but there are shitloads more coming with the E3 stuff announced. If you did miss the news for the day, though, let me give you a recap. We've just mentioned there, Xbox has a bunch of new Game Pass titles, including a Space Jam side-scrolling beat-em-up 90s-inspired game, which was the story we spoke about just before that one. And then before that, we were talking about Oculus, one of the devs for Oculus, Resolution Games, that's made Blaston, that was using in-game VR ads. They've decided to pull that after being review bombed. Aliens Fireteam is still coming. It's coming in August, but it's now called Aliens Fireteam Elite. And the show that we spent the story that we spent the majority of the show talking about was that Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 2 had a press event, and it was terrible, which is a shame. Having worked on the Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts, the first one, and seeing how good that was received, how it was doing big things to build itself up as a brand, and then they've just kind of like had the wind taken out of the sails because of shit management of an agency. But it just is what it is. Can't do anything about that. But anyway, thank you for joining us. We are done for today's scoop. We are going to drop off. I'm going to jump back on again. I have my mega sandwich delivered by the most beautiful lady in the world, which is a ham and cheese spectacular bad boy with some KFC chicken crisps. So what I'm saying is, I'm not showing off the fact that I've got food. What I'm saying is my food's good. So it's going to be a quick turnaround. We're going to jump straight back on with some PUBG. So feel free to join me for that. Yeah. You don't have to. But if you want some lunchtime games, then join us for PUBG. And then we'll be back on tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. for the last scoop of the week. So before all of that, though, we don't have long to wait until we get food. Babe, is there anything else that you would like to add before we start munching?
I appreciate every single one of you that have stopped by, that have provided the links to the articles today. But if you want to help shape our show for our very last episode tomorrow, there is 2 ways you can do that. First of all, find us on social media. It's at Ice Cream Uploads across all major social media platforms, or get involved with our Discord. All the links that you need are in the description below if you are watching this on any of our on-demand services. But all we need from you is a URL plus your thoughts and impressions. We'll then give you our thoughts and impressions, as stated earlier, on tomorrow's show, which will be at what time tomorrow, Mr. Graham Day?
Let me just think about that for just a second while I take a little bit of a drink from my drinky cup here, which is actually a golden trophy from PSN. It's not really. It's just it's a 3D printed item that you can get by using the link with _3D in the chat there. Next Gen Basin just typed. But we will be back at 10.
12.
A212. 10 a.m. Ish. Big old ish. 10 a.m. ish to 12. Yeah, 10 to 12 today. But yeah, we're back tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Damn you, work getting in the way.
God damn it. Have yourselves a lovely day. We'll see you back here in a little bit for some PUBG. If not, we'll see you 10 a.m. ish tomorrow. Have a fantastic day. And whatever you do, stay frosty.
Stay frosty.